What's up, mobile home park investors? Mike Pansolini here, and in today's episode, we have a timely one recorded right after the results of the election that has confirmed Donald Trump as the winner of the 2024 race. With Trump policies likely to bring change to the housing market, this is the perfect moment to discuss how these shifts might impact housing affordability, especially as it relates to mobile home parks. So today, let's first take a look at those challenges that we're currently facing as a nation with regards to the affordable housing crisis. Then we'll take an even closer look at how each of the candidates plan to tackle this crisis by talking through the proposed policies that they ran during their campaign and how those policies would affect single-family home building and housing affordability in general. We'll then switch gears and explain why mobile home parks might be the best answer to solving this housing crisis.
Mobile home parks need good would-be entrepreneurs to get off the sidelines and into the game. My name is Ryan Narus. I started with nothing. No money, no network, and no experience. Over my first decade in the business, I've acquired over 80 mobile home parks spanning 4,500 lots and counting. No matter what level you're at, I can help you get started, scale, and get your business to the next level.
I'm Mike Pansolini. In my 10 years working in private equity, I've managed over 250 mobile home parks. I've spent my entire career in real estate, both personally and professionally, building complex systems and processes and leveraging data and technology to create automations in both acquisitions and operations. I can teach you the methods that the big shops use to professionalize your business.
Together, we will equip you with all the tools, wisdom, and skills that I needed to create and scale a larger business from humble beginnings.
And I'll give you that big private equity shop edge to push your business to the next level, bringing institutional tools to the individual investor. We are the 30-day mobile home park. Housing affordability is at a breaking point. For the younger generation especially, owning a home has become a monumental challenge. Millennials, for example, are often forced to turn to their parents for help with down payments because the wage inflation that we have experienced as a generation just hasn't kept up with the cost of living. And when you consider that housing now makes up a record high percentage of take-home pay for so many people out there, it's clear that something has to give. To put it in perspective, the median price of a single-family home in America right now is about $400,000, far beyond reach for many, even with decent salaries. The cost of single-family homes is directly tied to supply, meaning there aren't enough single-family homes to keep up with the rising demand, and in turn, prices are increasing. So the logical question becomes, why aren't we building more? Building affordable single-family homes is a costly and complex process. The journey starts with securing land, which alone can be a major expense, and zoning restrictions often turn simple plans into long, drawn-out battles. Even after a developer clears zoning hurdles, materials costs like lumber are still extremely high, and a shortage of skilled labor has pushed wages upwards in the construction sector, which is adding even more costs to the final price tag of a single-family home. Labor shortages are a major factor here. Although the trades are essential to the construction process, there aren't enough young people entering these fields. During her campaign, Kamala Harris proposed a policy aimed to address the skilled labor shortage by doubling the number of registered apprenticeships in the United States. She planned to do this by providing federal funding and incentives that would encourage more people to pursue careers in the skilled trades. Specifically, she advocated for expanding apprenticeship programs across industries and partnering with trade schools and community colleges to fast-track Americans into these fields. Her approach also included creating incentives for employers to establish or expand apprenticeship programs, making it easier for people to access training and enter well-paid, highly skilled labor jobs without needing a traditional four-year degree. The goal was to lower training costs, fill critical labor gaps in construction and other trades, and ultimately to reduce some of the barriers to building affordable housing by namely addressing labor shortages head on. While this could have been an effective policy, let's talk quickly about why the GOP may be hesitant to adopt it. It is often the approach of conservatives to have free market policy when it comes to individual industries, and in this case, it could be the position of the Republicans that because wages in the trades, and specifically home building and construction, are currently climbing, that in response to that demand for the labor, there will be a natural shift into these fields without the need for government intervention. While this free market principle often holds true, the educational gap to get from unskilled to skilled may be something that the federal government can help address in the short term. However, under a Republican administration, change will likely come through the cutting of regulation rather than adding additional regulation or funding through additional stimulus. This is especially true given the inflationary backdrop with which Trump enters office. And speaking of inflationary backdrop, another policy put forth by the Harris campaign was a proposed down payment assistance for first-time homebuyers. While it sounds helpful to provide everyone with free stimulus, let's think back to how stimulus has affected our economy post-COVID, especially in recent years, as with regards to inflation. The same principle will hold true if this policy were enacted, in that it would simply drive up existing home prices, as now everyone would have an extra $25,000 to spend on a brand new home. While Harris's approach to the labor shortage was a potentially good solution, this solution I believe to be a miss, because it does not address the real issue of limited supply and finding cost-effective ways to build homes. Going back to Trump, during his campaign, he also discussed cutting regulations to lower building costs, although he hasn't specified which regulations he actually plans to target. If he is successful in finding and eliminating significant red tape surrounding land development and construction, this would indeed lower costs for developers, and those cost benefits would trickle down to consumer single-family home pricing. It would stand to reason that a real estate developer such as Trump may have the ability and know-how to tackle this issue from a regulatory standpoint, but that remains to be seen. Moving on to another Trump proposal that may make an appearance when he takes office in January, Trump campaigned on freeing up federal land for housing construction, especially around high-demand areas like Las Vegas. Access to land for development is currently a challenge, as we previously described, so any additional land that is provided by the government could potentially bring down home prices, obviously given lower land costs. However, it's important to note that most federally owned land is concentrated in the West, so while this could help certain areas of the country, it may not address housing affordability nationwide. So now that we are familiar with Trump's potential policies, let's discuss how mobile home parks fit into this picture and how they could solve some of the issues that we face as a nation surrounding affordable housing. Let's also think about how we as mobile home park investors can advocate for our asset type by highlighting these key benefits to our federal, state, and local governments. After all, mobile homes offer an alternative that cuts through many of the challenges that we just mentioned, and we know that collectively as a group of mobile home park investors. So let's kick it off. The affordable housing crisis comes down to supply and ultimately how additional supply can be produced more quickly at a lower cost and with less of a footprint on existing developed land. So on the topic of costs, let's cover time, labor, and material costs first. Unlike single-family homes, mobile homes are manufactured in factories and delivered to the site, which streamlines the construction process and cuts down on both wasted time and wasted materials, ultimately cutting the cost to produce them and therefore their final sale price to the homeowner. Think about how Henry Ford, founder of the Ford Motor Company, revolutionized the car building process by introducing the assembly line in his factories. Now apply that same concept to home building and think about how much more streamlined and efficient we would be if we utilized the same approach. Mobile homes are built in a step-by-step process, over and over again, in a replica or slightly modified floor plan. While the process still requires skilled laborers, much of the construction is done in this repetitive way, similar to Ford's assembly line. If you further add AI and other human-assisted building methodologies to the factory floor, you could cut that time and cost down even more so. This is undeniably a more efficient way to build homes at scale and at a significantly more affordable cost, and it will only get better with the advent of technology and artificial intelligence. The next challenge that we discussed was the cost of land. As mentioned, access to land is a major hurdle for the affordable housing crisis, and the highest and best use of that land in terms of providing affordable housing in the most efficient way is definitely not single-family homes. This should go without saying, but mobile home parks provide many more homes per acre of land than any single-family stick-built homes ever will. Using land efficiently and putting more homes on less land is the only way to combat rising land cost. This doesn't mean that you have to place a home on top of another home or have an unattractive density problem within your communities, but it does stand that having 1 to 4 acres of land for single-family homes, as has traditionally happened in the past, is definitely not a sustainable way to solve the affordable housing crisis. The next question that will likely arise from anyone listening is, why not build more multifamily instead of potentially additional mobile home parks? Well, the answer is living in a mobile home means having your own 4 walls, your own yard, and a real sense of home ownership that you just do not get in an apartment building. In a mobile home, you have all the benefits of single-family living without that prohibitive cost. For context, while the median single-family home price hovers around $400,000, in contrast, mobile homes come in at around only $80,000. This price point makes homeownership a reality for people who might otherwise be priced completely out of the market. Overall, data shows that people tend to prefer living in single-family homes versus apartments. And if that trend continues, then we need a scalable and affordable solution that doesn't involve stacking people high into the air in large apartment complexes. Mobile home parks provide that single-family living experience alongside a unique blend of affordability, privacy, and community that apartments just simply cannot match. As investors in mobile home parks, this presents a compelling opportunity for us to tackle the affordable housing crisis together and provide a necessary good to the great people of this country in a time when they desperately need it. The future of housing doesn't have to be bleak. By looking at alternative housing options like mobile home parks, we can give families, younger generations, and individuals a chance at ownership, stability, and that sense of community that they so crave. Mobile home parks are a true win-win, providing a unique and affordable solution for families and a strong, stable investment for owners. Here at the MHP Pros, we're optimistic about the future of mobile home parks, and we're here to share everything that we know so that you can make an impact in this space. Thanks for tuning in to the 30-Day Mobile Home Park. If you found this episode helpful, please make sure to subscribe so that you can join us in future episodes and as we continue to explore this incredible asset type. Entrepreneurs make mistakes, but with the overwhelming amount of free information out there, you don't have to be doomed to make those same mistakes. You just have to find a consolidated version of the most important information. What if I told you that Ryan and I will gift you all of the due diligence mistakes that he and I have made over the years for free? What if I also told you that Ryan and I will hop on a 30-minute coaching call to walk through any questions you might have, give you advice, and even do a free live deal review to get you started on your first or next mobile home park acquisition? Just leave us a 5-star review, screenshot the review after it goes live, and click the link in the show notes to fill out the form and send it to us. Afterwards, join our Facebook group, Mobile Home Park Masterminds, where you'll find hundreds of other mobile home park owners sharing ideas, contractors, and deals. It's free to join, and we would absolutely love seeing you in there. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you soon.